Hey guys, it's Adam, and in today's video, we're going to go over how to beat your opponent before the game even starts. Now, I know that might seem odd, but the higher levels you play, you will learn to scout your opponents, okay? And scouting your opponents is unbelievably important. And you can have a huge advantage over the guy you're going up against and the team you're going up against before the game even starts. Now, not a lot of players know how to do this effectively, and I got really good at it primarily because I was going up against really good players, and I had to figure out a way to stop them. And you do this by, if you have the ability to get game film on your opponents. So if you've ever seen them play before, whether it be you're at a tournament and their team plays before you, or they play the day before you, or you have game film that they're on YouTube maybe, or you have game film that your coach can get of the other team, anything like that. Anytime you can see your opponent play before you actually play them is going to give you a chance to scout them. Now, when you're scouting your opponent, you have to be able to identify and do it correctly so that it's to your advantage, okay? If you're just watching game film without thinking about what's going on, you're not really doing anything productive, okay? So when you're scouting players, here are the things that you want to keep in mind and identify in the game film, okay? So the first one is their strong hand. Now, I don't care who you're playing, if you're playing Kobe Bryant or you're playing Michael Jordan, every player has a strong hand, all right? Usually the hand they shoot with, okay? So me personally, I'm right-handed, and I love to finish with my right hand, as is any player. They love to finish with their strong hand. Now, the more higher level you play, some players might be more effective with their weak hand, but that's not to say that they still don't have a strong hand. Like I said, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan both have strong hands. And if you can keep them off of that strong hand, you're going to have an advantage. So if I was scouting myself, for example, and I knew that, okay, I'm going up against this guy, and he likes to finish with his right hand. He loves his right hand hook around the basket, okay? So if I'm a defender, I'm going to go, I have to take that away, right? So as soon as they pass the ball to him, I'm going to get up in his right hand so that he cannot get to that right hook, right? He cannot get to his favorite strength, right? His strong hand. So keep them away from their strong hand. The next, and I just touched on it, is their go-to move. So if you can identify what their go-to move is, the move that they go to when they absolutely have to get a basket, when the game's on the line, they're going to go to this move, right? For me, I just said it's my right hook, either off the glass or directly in the basket. For your man, it might be he likes to put the ball on the floor and drive hard right, okay? And when you can identify this go-to move, once again, you're able to take it away. So if you're playing a point guard who loves to drive right and score going right, then you're going to get up in his right hand and force him left, right? You're going to force him to his weak hand, and you're going to force him to his secondary move, his counter move, right? So if you can keep them off of their strong hand and you can keep them away from their go-to move, you're going to have a massive advantage on defense. Okay, you're going to lock them up. Now, when you're scouting a team, let's put scouting player. When you're scouting a team, which I'll write over here, what you want to identify is, if you can, their play calls, right? So if you can find out what their play calls are, and you can see the point guard coming down the court and calling out diamond, 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 and you already know what diamond is, you're going to have the advantage, right? You're going to be able to tell your teammates, hey, watch this back screen, watch this ball screen, whatever it may be. So you can, if you can identify their play calls, it's a huge advantage. The next is their game plays. Now, game plays refers to plays that they run late in the shot clock or late in the game. Okay, say the game's on the line. What play are they going to run, right? Most teams only have 1 or 2 plays that they can run at the end of the game. And if you know both of these plays, then you already know what's coming. Okay, you can predict what's coming, and therefore you can stop what's coming. Okay, so if you have scouting and you're watching the game and you see that every time the shot clock goes down and it's, you know, under 9 seconds, then they have a play that they call, right? Whether it be a ball screen, whether it be a back screen, whether it be a lob, whatever it may be. If you can identify that, then you can stop it ahead of time. And the last thing that you can identify when you're scouting is how the team plays together. So if there are 2 guys on the team that score all the points, then you want to figure out what they do to score those points, right? Not only is that going to help your team win, but it's also going to help you stop him, right? It's going to keep you on the floor. If you can't stop the man, then your coach is going to pull you off the floor, right? So if there's 2 players that score all the points, maybe it's a pick and roll that they always run. Okay, they have their bread and butter play that they always run. If you can scout that play and stop it, you are going to do much better against that team. Okay, now all of these things that I talked about are defense, right? So beating your opponent before the game on defense. Now it's also very productive to watch game film and see what you can do on offense to beat the other team, right? To score points. So on offense, if you're watching film, then what you want to know is how you can beat them, right? So maybe the other team plays zone. Maybe their primary defense is a 1-2-2 zone. Where are the weak spots in the zone, right? So on offense, you want to identify the weak spots. And players, right? If the other team has a player that can't play defense, and you notice that when you're scouting them, then throw the ball to the guy that he's guarding, right? So let him score on him, score on him, score on him, right? So identify the weak spots on the floor against zone and against man defense, and identify the weak players, okay? The next is to figure out who is their shot blocker, right? Every team usually has at least one shot blocker, and if it's not a shot blocker, then it's a guy trying to draw charges, right? So if you know that number 5 always takes charges in the paint, and you're driving to the rim and you've already scouted them and, oh, there's number 5, he's going to try and draw a charge on me, maybe you're going to pull up for a jump shot, right? And you're not going to pick up that foul. Or maybe number 5 is a huge shot blocker, right? So instead of going and teeing it up for him for a huge block, you can, get to the other side of the rim, finish on the other side of the rim so he doesn't block your shot. Or you can jump to his chest and accept that contact, right? Deliver that contact and finish strong over or around him. So these are 2 things that you can do on offense. Now, like I said, everything on defense and on offense comes down to scouting the other team, right? So beating your opponent before you even start the game. It's a huge advantage. And I strongly advise you, if you have game film of your opponent or you've ever seen them play, keep all of this stuff in mind when you are watching them, and you will have an advantage next time you play them. So I hope this video helped you. Keep it in mind for your next game, whatever it may be, and leave a comment below, suggestions below, and until next time, keep grinding.